Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
We're so thrilled to have on the show an incredible country music singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, Peyton Aldridge. Peyton, thanks for coming on the show.
Man? Thank you for having me.
I feel like I know you already. It's like, I always see you on my TV.
Well, that could either be a good or bad thing.
I think it's good. Plus, we got a lot of mutual friends.
That's right.
So I started hearing your songs early on, and you are the pride of Markson, Cleveland, Mississippi.
Yes, sir. Man, it's crazy, being from that side of town. Mississippi's, where I'm from is really small town, and I hear people say that all the time, but Marks, Quitman County, Mississippi is a small town. I mean, we just got a grocery store for the first time in a while. Wow. We ain't even got a hospital no more. It's shut down.
Wow. I can relate, though. I come from a small town in Missouri that lost its post office in the 60s. So it's like, and we have no grocery store. You got a big gas station. That's about it.
Hey, well, down in the South, the gas station got the best food. So you're all taken care of. That's right.
Well, speaking also, let's talk about your songs.
Yeah.
So, once again, you appeared on American Idol, and then you made it big on The Voice,
yes, sir.
Season 22. 3 judges turn around, and then I thought that John and Blake were going to have a rumble on you.
Yeah, man.
What did that feel like, to where you've got people that want you on their team so bad?
I'll tell you what, man. It was like I tell everybody, just to get that opportunity to go out there and sing in front of those guys. It's not every day that you get that chance.
Right.
I was very fortunate. I didn't really care about a chair turn. I mean, deep inside, I wanted a chair turn, absolutely, but
certainly.
I just wanted that opportunity, and to see guys fight over me was pretty cool.
Well, I'll tell you what, we were talking before we came in studio. Your version of Can't You See is just amazing.
Man, that's one of my favorite cover songs I've ever done, and we do it every night still. And when they said I can sing Can't You See, I was like, well, that's a no-brainer. Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, we got to talk about this also, your singles. And certainly you've had a number of singles coming out over the years, but especially within this last year. It seems like this has been Peyton's year.
It is.
And going into 2024 with you and your family. And, just the songs coming out, Friend and a Beer, which is doing great, and then also In a Song.
Yes, sir. So In a Song, man, I actually got that song pitched to me by Doug Johnson, who wrote 3 Wooden Crosses and stuff like that, and my buddy John Ramey, who wrote A Man Holding On by Ty Herndon that went #1. And so I became really good friends with John, and John's one of those guys. I was like, dude, send me songs. I'm not one of those artists like where I got to write everything. I want the best song.
Totally.
If I go in my career, I don't ever write a song that goes big. I'm perfectly fine with that. I just want the best song.
Yeah.
So when he sent me that song, I was like, man, this is it. I fell in love.
Well, what I was telling you too, to me, especially with In a Song, and I think it's growth as an artist, and fortunately with you, you've been able to, do what you want with your career now. It seems like it fits your voice so well. Man. It resonates. I mean, with your interpretation of singing it and everything else, and just the way it lets your voice showcase in there, it seems like a you song.
It is, man. And what gets me, is the last verse of the song. It talks about a guy, my dad's almost been gone a year, and it's crazy that I put the song out almost a year when my dad passed away due to cancer in February. And when I heard that line in the song, I immediately was like, man, this is just me, and especially when you get a song like that you really connect to, I think it drives you in emotion-wise, and it'll actually show during the performance. So I think that's really why I fell in love with that song.
And also it's not a bad deal, when you get to release a Christmas song also.
Absolutely.
A classic, especially with 2 little daughters of your own.
Absolutely. Mary Did You Know we're fixing to drop, and, Mark Lowry has been one of my favorite guys ever since I was a kid. I remember growing up watching the Gaithers and having DVDs with the Gaithers, and when he'd just get out there being a comedy guy, singing and playing the piano, I was like, that's the reason why I play piano, is because of him.
Wow.
So.
Well, and I thought you'd already been on the Opry because I saw pictures of you with John Party.
Hey, I'm trying to sneak my way on there, man. I'm trying to get anywhere I can. So,
you just hop out there, in front of Randy Hart, while he's playing piano, just start singing on the mic.
Absolutely. I thought about going out there when Party was up there the night, just jumping off the stage, I think that'd be great PR from a PR team.
I'm not a psychic, Peyton, but I have a feeling that you're going to be on the Opry very soon.
Man, I
think it's coming.
It's a dream come true if it does, man.
Well, and especially with all the singles that you've been releasing, like I said, it seems like your song choices have continued to get better and stronger with every one. But you're going to have a full EP coming out,
Yes, sir. Sometime in the spring.
Sometime in the spring.
Yes, sir.
And big tour plans and everything. I mean,
I got some really good stuff in the works.
Can't even tell us.
I'm really excited about it. So that's all I can say. This could be cool. 2024 is going to be a bang.
Well, and some of our viewers may not know this, Peyton, but I mean, you got your start singing in church.
Yes, sir.
And then, from there, and certainly you know, your influences, you hear, you know, the church music, but also you were raised close to the home of the Delta Blues.
Man.
You know, we were talking about Ground Zero.
Yes, sir.
And you've played Ground Zero Club.
I have, man. Like I said, I'm fortunate. Like I said, my grandfather was a Baptist preacher, so I grew up as a little kid in the church and singing and all this other stuff. My whole family sings, my cousins, everything besides my middle brother. I think something happened with my mom along the lines. I ain't gonna say what happened.
Right.
But he played college sports. Everybody else in my family's 5'10", 5'11",
Right.
250. He's 6'4", redhead, and played college basketball.
But
Makes no sense.
But you love sports
But
also.
I love sports also. But no, man, growing up in that culture, you know, it's always been about blues and stuff like that. And I find myself, I love country music, what I do, but I feel like I got that soul that comes out in it, you know, kind of brings me back to my roots.
You do, and I think also from singing in church, also that gospel feel,
Yes, sir.
which is so powerful. But, you know, you play piano and guitar. What do you usually write on?
Man, I write on acoustic just because it's so accessible, you know, instead of hauling around a big old keyboard everywhere. So, but yeah, guitar.
But when you're home, you get to play some piano.
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, you know, I noticed the pictures I'd seen of you performing and everything. You had a pretty neat looking guitar. Is this like a special custom edition? Is this a signature model?
Man, so, well, I'm working on that signature model that's coming out, but it's a Willow Creek, man. They're really cool. It's a small custom shop place, and man, it's absolutely incredible. When I say, I mean, I can't say nothing about it. It's got everything that you want in one. You don't even need a band. It's got a Bluetooth MP3 player built inside if you want to play some tracks by yourself and just hook your phone up and go.
Well, and I know I've seen you with other guitars too, but it's got a bigger body but then a smaller neck.
Yeah, it's got a jumbo body with a smaller neck, and of course I've got to have a jumbo because I'm so big, you know, so I got to have a bigger body. So, and it's got a small neck, which I like. I don't like that big old fat neck. So.
And the built-in electronics.
Built-in electronics, reverb, delay, compression, everything you want on it.
That's pretty amazing.
It is.
You got a lot of stuff going, and also in your spare time, you host barbecue shows. I mean, is that just because you enjoy being around the barbecue people, or you get to sample? How does this work? How can I get into this?
Number
Peyton?
one, sample. Number one. If you can't tell, I like to eat barbecue.
I do too.
And but no,
and good steak.
And good. Oh my God, out and steak, man, is incredible off the chain. But,
so how did you get into this with hosting?
well, man, it was crazy. I wrote a song. Well, I didn't write a song. I cut a song called American Backyard. And so anyways, this song talks about the sweet smell of barbecue and all this other stuff. So I got to be, my song got chosen to be a theme song of the barbecue country.
Wow.
So I was very ecstatic about that. It was really incredible.
And so like when you walk into like any of these barbecue things now, you know, competition, you're like royalty now.
Man, I don't know if I'm royalty or not, but they look at me crazy. It's like, that's that redneck from Mississippi. That's
Well,
right.
you know, I got to ask you this too, because obviously, you know, looking back at some of the past bands you've been in, I was just wondering why every one of the previous bands you were in has gravy involved in the name. Is there a reason that gravy?
So
I mean, because it seems like there's a theme.
also, absolutely. So my first show ever played, so I moved from Quinton County, which is Marks, to Cleveland when my mom married my stepfather. And so I got my best friend till this day is John Michael Badusi, and we started a little duo. And my brother owned a restaurant called Crawdads in Marigold, Mississippi. And he said, y'all want to play a show? We said, absolutely. So he's like, what's y'all's name? I was like, man, I don't know. So he threw biscuits and gravy on there. And I don't know who was calling biscuits and who was calling gravy, but that's how we got our name, Biscuits and Gravy.
I just think it's great because you had another gravy band
We
too.
had a Mississippi Gravy.
Mississippi
we try to make
gravy.
it a little bit more classy, you know?
Yeah, but I
It's
mean,
Mississippi Gravy.
But I noticed that I like that common thread.
Absolutely, man.
And I think now after you've been hosting, you know, the barbecue TV shows and everything, maybe you include barbecue.
Barbecue and gravy or something. I don't know how that ties in.
I mean, how can you go wrong with any of those?
No, you can't. You can't.
Especially coming out of Mississippi, you know?
You can't, man. I love it.
Well, you know, and with your singles and everything too, like we were talking, Peyton, it seems like you're really hitting a stride now. I mean, Hometown Girl, you know, a lot of your earlier songs sounded great, but it seems like, I don't know if it's with your voice, with the guitar, but I mean, what are you feeling on this with the new songs?
Yeah, dude. So
they just seem more powerful.
It is, man. So what it is, about last year, almost 2 years ago, I told my wife, I said, look, I had a handyman with my guitar player, which we've been playing since 8th grade together. I told him, I said, you know, music is really what I want to do. So I was like, I told her, I was like, well, God, I got this income coming in. And I was like, God, how am I going to tell my wife and 2 little girls at home that Daddy's fixing to try to make in the music business, you know? And everybody knows how hard that is.
It is.
But thank God I got a good support group and a good wife that supports me and said, hey, whatever you want to do, I'm behind you. So I said, just give me a couple years and I'm going to make impact somehow. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm fixing to make a run.
I think you're making impact.
Man,
I mean,
we're trying.
how often are you coming up to Nashville? I got to ask you this too, with the new singles, did you record them here in
Man,
Nashville?
we record them at Omni Studios.
Oh, great studio.
Omni Studios, yes, sir.
Yeah.
But, man, I'm up here 2 weeks now, so I'm writing at Warner Chapel and writing stuff up here with Sony and all these other people, which I'm very excited about. And one good buddy of mine named Stone Alley has been really good friends of mine.
He's amazing.
He saw me perform, and he caught me in, and man, he's hooking me up with rights with everybody, and so I'm so fortunate for him.
And Stone has written so many great songs for so many other artists that, you know, you hear him on the radio. Yeah. And once again, I think that's, you know, as you know, coming up here to Nashville, it's just like a creative hotbed.
It is.
You know, there's no other place like it in the world where you've got so many incredible creative people. And like you and I were talking before we came in studio, everybody knows everybody.
Everybody knows everybody. I've never seen a town this big, so confined to a small point. I mean, it's crazy. Just like me and you know so many people.
Right.
We've never met before. And it's
like
crazy.
Going, oh, yeah, we know all the same people.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I love about Nashville, man, and the creative side is like, I get an idea or something. It's hard to write a song by yourself. And I know what I excel in and what I don't excel in. And that's why I like being surrounded by these great people, because I've never done co-writes before until this year. And man, it's absolutely incredible.
You know, it's so funny because, and as you know, Peyton, it's such a Nashville thing because, you know, so many people come here and they've only written songs by themselves, but also having the right co-writer.
Absolutely.
You know, somebody like Stone and you know, you pick the right ones.
And me and Stone are so tight now, you know, it's just like, he knows what I'm trying to say, and he's trying to make my dumb English better English, you know. So it's been.
But
really
also,
incredible.
you've got the heart with it, because you could tell even from your early music,
yes, sir.
You know, your early singles and everything, Peyton. They were you.
Yes, sir.
It's the talent was there.
Yes, sir.
And then, but you know, what advice now as you're making this move? Because I'm predicting there's going to be big things for you in 2024.
I appreciate you, brother.
And so I mean, what advice would you give other people just like yourself that are coming out of small towns? You know, with a song in their heart that want to try and make it in music. What's worked for you, Peyton?
Man, what's worked for me is just, number one, having trust in my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and knowing that He will take care of everything. And, you know, just surrounding yourself with people that make you better, that's positive all the time. If you're around people that's negative all the time, you need to get out of that, because it's not going to do nothing but bring you down. Surround yourself with great people, and you can achieve anything you want to achieve.
Well, it's obviously working for you.
Yes,
I mean, I can't wait to, next time you come in, you got to bring in the signature model
guitar.
guitar.
I will.
I think I need to play that.
Absolutely. We'll play it together.
And you know, you've got so many great things going on with all the music, and I know that you're going to have a big tour announcements and everything next year, more songs coming out. Also, I understand possibly some cool merchandise.
Man, we got some really cool merchandise that's coming. I'm serious, man. It's going to be hilarious.
You're going to have to bring that next time you come to the studio, too. We're going to have to show some of that.
I'll hook you up.
Yeah, I'll wear it. We'll wear it in here.
Absolutely.
But it's like, I got to come. When are you going to play a show here in Nashville soon?
Man, so when is it? I got a Christmas party, a bunch of Christmas parties coming up. You know, Nashville's pretty much shut down till next year. So, you know, I'm not really the Broadway guy. I don't really go all the Broadway stuff. So.
Well, you've kind of already done that in Mississippi.
I have, man. That's like I tell people all the time. Even though I'm new to this, I've been doing it for so long, you know, and it's just, I don't know, it's incredible.
It takes a lot of gravy to get here.
It does. It takes a lot of gravy to get here. A lot of biscuits, too. That's
biscuits and gravy and Mississippi gravy.
That's right. That's right.
Well, I tell you what, you know, I love what you're doing with the new singles. In a Song especially, man, you know, certainly with my father passing many years ago, you know, that one hit me.
Yes, sir.
In a great way.
Yes, sir.
And your voice and your delivery, it's like you can tell you mean it when you sing it.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, man. And I think that's what it's all about. It's just, and I see people all the time putting out songs like, man, is this really them or not? Right. And I'm not going to put out anything that ain't me. I'm not that kind of person. If I'm going to put it out, it's my story. So.
Well, you know, and I think also even, you know, a friend with a beer and everything too, it's like, it's not your typical song. You know what I mean? It's saying, you know, leaning on your friends.
Correct.
Looking for help. It's really a different angle on it.
It is, man. And like I said, dude, when I heard that song, it's like, man, who doesn't want a friend with a beer? And like people say it all the time, like, oh my God, you're hanging around people, blah, blah, blah. No, it's about leaning on somebody that's your friend.
If you listen to the lyrics.
If you listen to the lyrics, you'll get the story. That's right.
Yeah, and that's what you know, and I think your voice does such a great job with it. And I'm glad that in the mix and with the recordings that you're doing, you know, that your voice comes over the top.
Yes, sir.
And I think that brings the lyrics home.
That's right. My boy Roy Rositas, man, that dude right there is killer, brother. He's killer.
It's like, you got some great stuff going. I mean, it's like, I feel like the previous things were all stairs to getting you to where you're at now.
Absolutely. And I think that's what it takes, and that's called learning and developing as you go. You start here, then, I mean, hopefully your career keeps going this way, and that's what I want to do, you know. So I'm really found out myself who I really am this year as an artist and as a songwriter, and I think that's helped me more than anything. Well, it's incredible listening to you and seeing you, you know, do this, Peyton. I want to make sure for our viewers that they know for your website, social media, for big tour announcements, for more singles coming out, for the EP coming out, and some cool merch. Where do our viewers need to go? Yes, sir. So my website is PeytonAldridgeMusic.com, and you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, that X thing, whatever that is. I'm
Yeah,
not sure
whatever
what that
it is
is.
now.
And Twitter, whatever that thing is. It's all Peyton Aldridge music, so you can find me anywhere.
Well, I'll tell you what, be sure and follow him on Spotify, however you consume music. I'm sure that the EP is going to be available on vinyl also, I hope.
sir.
But the singles are great. In a Song, probably my favorite song that you've got out right
I
now.
appreciate you, brother.
You know, but I enjoy them all. Peyton Aldridge, thanks so much for coming on the
Thank you
show.
for having me, brother.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.